How easy is it to justify not doing something? I'm too busy, haven't got time, haven't got enough money, it's too hot, it's too cold, haven't got the right clothes. And we give ourselves a long list of reasons/excuses for not getting stuff done. But my most important question is this: at the end of the day, and my day's about to end outside, I'm going to go inside. When I look in my mirror and say, how was my day today? And I knew that I could have, I should have, I would have, but I didn't. How do I feel? Versus I start my day, I've got a list of things to do, I get them all done. I look in the mirror at the end of the day and say, hey, I feel fantastic. My brain is high, filled with achievement chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, brain-derived neurotropic factor, the fertilizer for your brain, which gets you ready for another day, which means tomorrow is going to be even better than today, versus I didn't do what I was supposed to do, so now I feel pretty crappy. I've got those horrible chemicals in my brain that make me feel awful. I feel depressed, I feel angry, I feel annoyed with myself. So how's tomorrow going to be? So how do we make a change? And there's that thing called habits. Are you in the habit of making excuses, downward spiral, feeling terrible? Or are you in the habit of getting stuff done? And people ask me this question for a reason, because I'm one of these unique people that's never missed a day of exercise. Since I started when I was 10, I did side leg raises and donkey kicks and sit-ups for 3 years on the floor, not knowing any better. Then I started exercising to music and getting puffed at 13, and again, I've never missed a day of exercise. Now, I always share the byline to that is I've also breathed air every day, I've eaten food every day, I've showered and brushed my teeth every day, I've worn clothes every day. Exercise is a normal part of my life, and that is now the question. The stuff that you need to get done, why isn't it already a part of your life? And obviously there's a why reason there for a reason. And I ask this very respectfully because I'm not a parent, but I often think if I had children, would I want them to see that it's possible to be healthy, fit and strong, have a career or business that you love, be financially free and have great people in your life? The 4 things that I talk about every single day. What's your motivation for doing versus your motivation for not doing, and how do you get into the habit of doing? And could it be that you need big reasons? Do your reasons, your goals need to be bigger than your excuses? Because if you've got a long list of excuses and a very short list of reasons, is it possible that you won't get anything done at all? So why do I exercise every day? Well, I've got a really interesting motivation for that. I don't want the opposite. So if I'm not moving every day, I don't feel good. I don't have a stack of energy. I don't perform at my best. I don't like how I feel when I haven't exercised. And of course, I don't know that because I've exercised every day since I was 10 years of age. So yes, of course, I'm in the habit of being healthy, fit, strong, lean, energetic, and loving exercise because I've been doing it every single day. So how do you get into the habit of doing something? And of course, our words control our thoughts. Our thoughts and words are the same thing, which control our actions, which control our results, and we control our outcomes. So what if you just changed your words? So instead of saying, I want to exercise, why not just call yourself a fit, healthy person? What would a fit, healthy, strong person do today? What would a wealthy person do today? What would a happy person do today? What would a successful career person do today if they've got the same career that I have? Versus I'm fat or sick or weak or depressed and feeling down, or using those kind of words about yourself. So what if you just change your words? There's a great place to start. Then if you do something enough times, is it possible that it becomes a habit? So what if you just decided today, regardless of how I feel, and this is the definition of discipline, of course, do what you should do, when you should do it, even if you don't feel like it. Now, are there days that I don't feel like exercising? Of course. But when I logically go into my brain, I could emotionally say I don't feel like it and come up with a list of excuses why I'm not going to. But I'm not going to do that because my logical brain says if you don't, this is how you'll feel, and I don't want to feel bad. So I use the pain of being overweight, sick, diseased, unhappy, depressed, all the things that people talk to me about. And the people that share that they are unhappy, fat, sick, weak and diseased are not fit, strong, healthy people, of course. They're people that make excuses. So what if you use a bit of pain as motivation rather than pleasure? Because the challenge with using pleasure as a motivation, A, we're waiting to be motivated. And then the pleasure of being healthy, fit and strong has become such a rare thing now for most people. In fact, a lot of our kids now have never been fit, never been strong, never been healthy, never felt what it's like to feel good about themselves. So they can't use that as a driving force because they've never felt it. It's a bit like I want to be rich, but you've never had any money. The thought might be nice, but it doesn't make any sense because you've never had it. But if you use a driving force of, I'm sick of having no money, I'm sick of being fat, I'm absolutely had enough of living my life this way, this is the last day I'm going to live like this because I'm sick of the pain of living like this. And of course the behavioural scientists will share with us that the only reason we ever make change is because the pain of staying the same is greater than the pleasure of changing or staying the same. So if I stay the same, I'm going to feel awful. If I change, I'm going to feel great. But the reverse of that is if I keep doing this, I feel okay, there's no pain involved, then I don't make a change. So only because people share with me every day they're grumpy, miserable, angry, depressed, fat, sick, weak and diseased, and then come up with a list of excuses as to why they are that way. You could just say, look, I'm going to drop the excuses and make a change, but that doesn't seem to work for most people. So what if you put some pressure on yourself? If I keep doing this, what will happen? If I don't get fit and strong, what will happen? I'm going to get fatter. I'm going to get sicker. I'm going to get more depressed. My clothes, I'll have to go up another size and then another size and another size. Versus if I make a change, what will I feel like when I look in the mirror and can see that I'm healthy, fit and strong and I feel energetic and full of life every single day? If I hate my job, I could stay there and make excuses. Oh, I've been doing this all of my life and I'm making a lot of money and I have to support my family. Or if my kids see me in this lousy, stinking job for another day making excuses for staying here, is it possible that my kids will have the same kind of life? And that's that really confrontational question that I'm very careful about. If a book was written about you, would it be a warning to don't live your life like this because she had a really crappy life? Or would it be a beautiful revelation of if you live your life like this, you could have a life like this? That's the book question. But what about your kids? And I don't have any. But if I had children, would I want my children to have the same life as me? And I share that because I have a lot of children in my life now. And I want them to see that it is possible to be healthy, fit and strong. It is possible to have a career or business that you love for your entire life, because I'm now an old lady. It is possible to be financially free. And of course, you get to choose who you put into your life. I want to be the living example for our kids, not make excuses for I'm fat, sick, weak and diseased, got a shitty job, have got no money and I've got horrible people in my life. And here's my big long list of reasons why. And very confrontational point out from a behavioural scientist to a group of my members in Australia at one of my health clubs. She was a member at the club and we were having a social event, but she made this point. Everything that's ever happened to you, you were there. You have to take responsibility for your life because everything you've ever eaten, you chose to put it in your mouth. Every exercise session that you didn't do, you chose not to do it versus do it. Everything that's ever happened to you, you can make a big long list of reasons for why you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve. But at the top of the list, you should be on the list because you made the decisions. Now, that's a very harsh thing to say. And there were a lot of people in that conversation that were not happy with what she said. But if you analyse that with a logical brain, it's true. We get to choose. We are responsible. We can respond. We are able to respond to everything that happens to us, and we can be healthy, fit and strong, have a career or business that we love, be financially free and have great people in our life if we choose. Now, we might choose by default to be fat, sick, weak and diseased, have a horrible job, have no money and have horrible people in our life because we've got a big long list of excuses for why we can't make it possible. But we get to decide, and isn't that awesome? So if you want to live your life to the max, make a decision. Choose. Woo-hoo-hoo. Live your life to the max.